Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight we take on Arch Tempered Uth Duna, and this is the third time I've recorded this audio to try to fix some issues that we've been having. So if you hear any sort of pops or sounds in the background and you know anything about audio, feel free to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Anyway, let's start out taking a look at the armor, which is what 90% of people are interested in. The Uth Duna Gamma set has peak performance, tool specialist, earplugs, quick sheath, and agitator, which seems like a bit of an unusual combination. Now, aesthetically, it's gorgeous. I'm actually really kind of curious exactly how it recolors, because if you look at the pictures versus what's being previewed on me, I'm assuming that's where I have orange set to my primary color, so it's filling in everything that's going to change the color that you change. So, should be some interesting color palettes that you can actually swap in there. But this set has a very interesting set bonus. So, Protective Veil 1 increases defense temporarily when using specialized tools, and Protective Veil 2 does the same thing, but significantly more so. And then Lord's Soul, which is Guts, or Tenacity, boosts attack and lowers defense, but lets you survive one lethal hit. Afterwards boosts defense and resistance. So it's kind of like the reverse of the Veil that Uth Duna has. Instead of starting out with the Veil and getting the boost in defense, and when the Veil pops off, you get the increased attack. You get the increased attack at the beginning and the lowered defense, and then after you have almost died once, you get a boost in defenses, and I'm assuming you lose the attack. Either way, gorgeous set, some interesting jewel slots, interesting skills on it, and I actually think it'll probably be a pretty fun one to play around with. Will it be meta or not? I don't know. But it'll be fun at the very least, which, I mean, let's be honest here, that's more interesting than whether it actually just ends up becoming the single most overpowered set in the game, right? So, went ahead and made the one piece that I had a ticket for, because obviously I've already beaten the monster in order to have this popped up. But let's take us a minute and take a look at the set that the Feline gets, or Palico, because that's what some people are interested in. This is basically a really colorful Woodwood, which is actually kind of a cool set for your Feline. Not really my thing, but I do appreciate the color palette on it, and that actually makes me kind of want to use it. Like, I do at least especially like the weapon. It looks pretty nice. Now, let's move into the actual fight. This, right off the bat, is not as hard as Arch Tempered Raydal was, but there's a couple reasons why that might be. Number one, AT Raydal took me 3 or 4 attempts to kill him. I can't remember exactly how many. And then once I successfully killed him once, I made a cart or something like that on him afterwards, but he was going to consistently die from that point out. This died on my second attempt. And on that first attempt, it's largely because I was playing like an idiot. Like, I had a couple carts that were completely avoidable. I also didn't notice until this attempt that I actually don't have any mega potions, that I have run out. So when I'm refilling my loadouts automatically with the loadout menu, I haven't been getting them. So what you'll actually see is the point where I cut a transition out when Uth Duna goes to move to a new area. I take the opportunity to hop back to base camp, make some mega potions, and just go ahead and refill everything while I'm there, and then finish the hunt. But on this attempt, it not only went down, but it went down without any carts. That might make it seem like this is an easy fight. I actually think it's on par with Raydal. The thing is, Raydal gave us some idea what to expect with Arch Tempered fights. So I actually went in with the idea that I could fail this one, and took my time in a lot of the fight. Didn't make as many risky moves as I normally do in other fights. So it was more about risk management. Also, there's one thing with Uth Duna that wasn't quite as present with Raydal. I would say about 90% of the time, Uth Duna follows the pattern of 2 attacks, slight pause. The only real variation is occasionally it will actually chain together more attacks than just 2. Could be 3, could be 5. I think 5 is the most I ever had it chained together between the attempts that I've given on it. But it will do at least 2. And yeah, there's a couple attacks where if you have a fast weapon or you know what you're doing, you can probably squeeze in a hit in between the attacks. but for the most part, you're going to need to wait at least until the second one. And if you start attacking and see it's moving into another one, if it does more than 2, usually there's a big enough gap between the second and third one that you can recover as long as you're not spamming buttons and get back out of the way and get somewhere safe. So as long as you're playing very carefully, it's relatively easy to get through the whole fight without any sort of cards. The thing that I would say actually gives this fight the biggest bit of longevity is his veil, because when you hit the veil instead of hit him, you don't actually do that much damage towards killing him. You do a lot of damage towards killing the veil, but it takes a lot longer to break that veil in Arch Tempered than it does with your standard one. I believe I don't break it until roughly 10 minutes into the fight, and then it regenerates relatively quickly. So you're going to have to learn what spots you can tuck yourself in on him, or whatever, and actually successfully get hits to hit the body, even with the veil up, which does make this a little bit more challenging than the standard version. And it is no. Okay, I need to check myself on that. It's not a little bit more challenging than standard Uth Duna. It's significantly more challenging than standard Uth Duna. The basic Uth Duna is actually not that hard of a fight to beat. This one, if you don't know what you're doing and you're not careful or you don't have good gear, you're probably going to struggle to get through it, because even the minor hits are actually chunking decent pieces out of my health. The bigger ones, like as soon as I get below half health, you really don't want to be below half health in this one. There's one attack that will take out the vast majority of your health bar, but most of his attacks will take out around half, if not slightly more. So you don't really want to be sitting below half health. Standard one, you can just kind of dance around him and well on him, and it's not a big issue. Overall, though, I would say this is a fun fight. I think if they actually stick with what they're saying, which is leaving these guys up permanently and figuring out a way to actually integrate them into the game in a more permanent sense, like say if we can actually start running into 5-star Arch Tempered Uth Dunas, those will be some of the hardest fights that we've actually seen in the series. Oh, by the way, this is one cool thing to be aware of with this, and it'll definitely decrease the time that it takes to kill him. In almost every area that he goes into, there's sections where he'll go swimming and you can pull stones down to hit him. There's even one where it's a transitional area. So he's going from point A to point B, and you notice that your secret actually gets you ahead of him, starts running around in circles in one little spot. If you hop off, there's actually one little set of rocks there that you can pull down to knock him out of the water, that I've never noticed before, because I've just either not paid attention when I've actually fought him otherwise, or it just didn't occur to me to try to knock him out at that point. But there's consistently environmental hazards you can hit him with anytime he tries to jump in the water. Be very careful about his giant belly slam. At about 19 minutes and 30 seconds into the video, there's a point where he's doing his belly slam and it hits me, and at first glance there's no reason why it should have hit me, and if you watch really closely in the video, you'll see one of his tentacles which barely tapped me, but that hit has a very wide range. Also, when his veil's not out, when it pops back out, he can do an animation when it's popping out, and that animation will actually hurt you. So there's a couple of little spots where he's just a touch more dangerous than his standard variant, and it actually adds up to a pretty fun fight. I definitely recommend this one. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was anything terribly challenging. The challenge quest, I think, pops up on Monday, 28th, I believe, is when the actual challenge quest comes out. It should be one that's actually achievable to get an S rank in. I could see Arch Tempered Uth being a bit of a challenge to get down to the S rank mark. This one, especially if he's trapped in the arena and he can't really run around and trail you off, it shouldn't be that much of a challenge if they don't expect you to be fighting around the veil rather than potentially hitting it at certain points. So who knows, it actually could be an insanely low time, and they're just assuming that 90% of your hits are going to bypass the veil and actually hit his body, in which case it could be a pretty challenging fight. But And the only other question I have about that is one thing that does make this one harder than before is a lot of his attacks actually generate more waves, and the waves shift you around quite a bit more than they used to. They've always moved you around, but he could generate those waves in a way that's a little bit more unpredictable than what it was before. So I'm curious if they are going to put him into the arena, or if they're going to wall him off in a section here, and that's going to be the challenge quest. I don't know. We'll see. I know I don't really expect him to be nearly as challenging if we actually do fight him in the arena, just because the swimming is not going to be a factor. But we'll have to wait for that to check it out. And check it out we will, because it should be an interesting fight. Anyway, I'm going to be quiet at this point and let you all finish watching the video if you want to. It's an enjoyable fight. If you liked the video so far, please leave a like and a comment. If you really liked it, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, have a good evening, and remember, if I can beat it, so can you.
We have supply items from the guild.
bet I can set up camp there.